Yo, what's up everybody? It's Basketball Insider back with another video, and today we're going to be starting a newer series. I'm going to try to do it for as many teams as possible. I'm going to basically tell y'all what I think the Warriors need to do this offseason. This is obviously a short offseason. The season is scheduled to resume on the 18th of January. That's the date they're going for at the moment. It's not confirmed, but probably around that date will be the start. So realistically, it's only about 2.5 months of offseason. Of course, the draft is in under a month. I do believe it's on the 18th of November. And then free agency is set to start a couple weeks later. So, should be a good offseason. But this one is going to be about the Warriors because they have the biggest offseason of all, in my opinion. Because the Warriors, they have Curry, they have Clay back from injury. And this should be a good season for them. They are projected, they're definitely up there in the rankings. They might be able to get back to the NBA Finals. The Hopefully the matchup can be Lakers Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. That'd be fun. But the Warriors, they got to make some moves. They got to get there. What will they do is what I'm going to talk about right now. Obviously, none of this is confirmed, but it's things, rumors that have been going around, and things I could maybe see them doing. It could be interesting. We'll see what they do. I'm going to go through some things right now, let y'all know. Of course, the Warriors do have the second pick in the draft this year. So will they keep that trade or will they trade it? That's what I'm going to talk about first here. I think what they will do, there's two options. They will either probably draft James Wiseman with the second pick. He averaged about 20 points in college, 11 rebounds a game, 76.9% from the free throw line, which is very, very good. He went to Memphis for college, and he was the best player on the team, obviously, and arguably the best player in the NCAA that season. So he only played one season. He's obviously declared for the draft, and the Timberwolves have the number one pick at the moment. And assuming they don't trade it, I don't think they're going to take Wiseman, considering they have Karl-Anthony Towns. They'll probably take Anthony Edwards or a guard. So Wiseman will definitely be there for the Warriors if they keep that pick, and he will probably be the choice they take if they do not trade the pick. But now if they do trade the pick, they would trade down probably for a 13, 12 through 16 pick, and there's multiple players that they could pick up that are in that range. Devin Vassell was the guy I came up with for the Warriors. He seems to fit them the best. He's a good catch and shooter player like Harrison Barnes. He's kind of like Harrison Barnes was for the Warriors. He's a good catch and shoot player. He can play multiple positions. He can play the shooting guard, small forward, even the power forward. He averaged 13 points a game in college, about a steal and a half, 5 rebounds, and he shot 42% from the three-point line, which is pretty good. So as long as he can translate that over to the NBA and be a good catch and shoot player, that's what the Warriors obviously need. That's what they've thrived on over the last couple seasons, is spacing, and that's how they've won so many championships and been such a great team over the course of the last 6 years. So that could definitely be a good move for them, trading down, and getting Devin Vassell. But another trade I could see them possibly doing could be with the Orlando Magic. They could maybe trade that number 2 overall pick for Nikola Vucevic and maybe the 15th pick, because the Magic have the 15th pick. Now Vucevic, obviously he's an all-star player. He's a very, very, very good player. He averaged around 35 points a game in this series versus the Bucks in this playoffs this year down in Orlando. He was great. He's always a consistent player, and the Warriors, they need a center that can shoot threes, Vucevic, and he gets them rebounds. He's basically the ideal center for the Warriors. I don't know if this will happen. Obviously, this is just something I think could be a good idea for them. But that's good for the Magic because Mo Bamba can now go into the starting center, and he can thrive in that center position. And the Magic can draft somebody else like LaMelo Ball or whoever they choose to take. Maybe even take James Wiseman and pair him with Mo Bamba. We'll see how that goes if that ends up happening. But it could be a good move for both teams. I don't see it happening, but I don't think it would be a bad trade. If that does go down, I would not be surprised in the slightest. But here's some rumors for free agency for the Warriors. Obviously, the Warriors, they don't have any cap space. They are very, very, very low on cap space because of the max contracts of Curry, Clay, Draymond, and now Wiggins is on that team. So if they're making any trades, the Warriors, they're going to have to be giving up Andrew Wiggins. So especially with that trade with the Magic. If they're going to get Nikola Vucevic, who has a 4-year, or now 3-year, $75 million contract, they're going to have to give Andrew Wiggins to the Magic with that number 2 overall pick to match out the salaries. And any trade they make for a max player, a good player, is going to have to include shipping Andrew Wiggins to the other team because he has that max contract the Timberwolves gave him a year or two ago. But still, nonetheless, it could be a good move. There are some rumors about Dwight Howard. Maybe the Warriors get Dwight Howard for that bench center to come off, give them energy like he did the Lakers. He could be on a smaller contract, obviously. He's like 35 at this point, so that could be a good pickup for sure. And then there's also rumors about Danilo Gallinari. He's willing to take a MLE to compete for a title. And, people are saying he's going to go to the Heat or something, but don't be surprised if the Warriors try to make a move for him because he's trying to compete for a title. The Warriors are trying to compete for a title. And if he's willing to take the pay cut in order to win a ring, because he is getting older, he's like 32, but he's still a great player. He's awesome for the Thunder this year and obviously led them to that 5 seed in the playoffs. So if he's willing to take that cut and go to the Warriors, that would be a great pickup for the Warriors. That would make them just raise their level of elite. They go small ball with maybe Draymond at the 5, but it would be a very, very lethal lineup. You would not want to guard that. And then there's also rumors about Rodney Hood and Jay Crowder possibly going to a contender. Jay Crowder, he does stay. He wants to stay with the Heat, so don't be surprised if he goes back to the Heat. But Rodney Hood, he's a free agent coming off that torn ACL with the Blazers, and maybe he could definitely fit the Warriors very well. You can see him like an Alex Burks was earlier this season or something like that, just a spark off the bench to give you some shots and like 10 points a game. He's a very good player, underrated, great 6-man to have on the team. So don't be surprised if you see the Warriors try to make a move for Rodney Hood. But I think the biggest key for the Warriors, in my opinion, this upcoming season is going to be the fact that the starters this season, because of all the injuries, they had guys like Kai Bowman, Jordan Poole, Damian Lee starting this season, Eric Paschall, those guys, they are now going to be on the bench, but they're going to have the experience of starting and getting game time minutes. So when they're off the bench next season, they're going to be lethal. I mean, Marquise Chris as well, as you see him dunking right there. They're going to be very, very good off the bench, in my opinion. They're going to seem their bench on paper is not going to look good, but if you guys watch the Warriors this season, those guys, they competed. Like, they wanted to earn their minutes. They really wanted it. You could just tell. Like, look at Marquise. Marquise Chris was the ultimate hustle player for them. He's a great backup center. Honestly, I would rather have him over Dwight Howard if you're the Warriors. He fits better. Makes more sense. So, I think the guys like Damian Lee and Kai Bowman, even if they don't look the best on paper, I think they could be really, really big for the Warriors off the bench next season. Those are the X factors in my opinion. If you got those guys off the bench playing like they did this season in the starting lineup, I think the Warriors could have a serious chance of going all the way, and that is really a fact. I really do believe that the bench is the X factor for this Warriors team. But we'll see, obviously, how it pans out, what they end up doing. But that's just my predictions on what they're going to do this offseason. Gave you guys the options, what's going to happen. And we'll see if any of the stuff I just talked about ends up happening. Tell me in the comments what team you want me to do next. I'm thinking maybe the Clippers, because there's obviously rumors about Paul George and Kawhi, what's going to go on there. But I want to do this for every team. That's the goal. I don't know if I'll get to every team before this season starts back up, but I'm going to attempt to post 2 or 3 of these a week, depending on the timing. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, if you did like what I had to say, please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
Alright guys, I know I already outroed this video, but literally right as I finished making this, another report came in saying that the Warriors are very high on Denny Ava. I don't know how to pronounce that last name, but his first name's Denny, and he played EuroLeague last season, and he was MVP, a multiple-time MVP, great player for the EuroLeague, but now he is in the draft, and the Warriors worked him out in Atlanta. Steve Kerr and other staff members watched the performance, and apparently they were very high on him, said he had a high work ethic, and looked very, very good. So if they do keep that pick, maybe they want Denny. He's another forward who can shoot, and he's kind of like Harrison Barnes, but more athletic. He's kind of like that kind of build, like I was talking about with Devin Vassell. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what the Warriors do. And now this outro's for real. Peace. Thank you guys for watching.